Hey everybody, this is Eric Worre, and welcome to NetworkMarketingPro.com here in Orlando, Florida again with my good buddy, Ray Higdon.
Hey.
Ray,
what's
thank
up?
you for being here.
I'm honored.
Ray's going to tell his story, and his life has changed pretty dramatically from when in 2009?
July of 2009.
July of 2009, so recently until today. And Ray, why don't you just go ahead and tell everybody your story of what's happened since then, or where you were then and what's happened since.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I actually got introduced to network marketing in February of 2006, and I didn't get it to work, you know. And at the same time, I was doing real estate. I was a real estate investor here in Florida, and you know, real estate was going very well until about 2008, and that's when my business model completely fell apart. And looking back in hindsight, I realized I had a business that worked in a good economy, yeah. Like a lot of people.
The leverage killed you?
Leverage killed me, and so in the meantime, from 2006 to 2009, I'd actually been a part of 11 network marketing companies. Never.
Just looking for the fit.
I didn't know what I was doing.
Or just dabbling?
I thought I needed to be like a trench coat guy, like, oh, you don't like this, then try this, you know.
It's like well, Jordan Adler was in, what, 11 companies?
Yeah.
Before and never recruited one person.
I recruited a few, but not too many.
Right,
and
okay.
So it hadn't worked. So, you know, in 2008, when my real estate business really went down the tubes, I went through kind of a mental and a financial just coma. I just kind of checked out, and I hoped that things would just get better, but I wasn't doing anything. You know, I think I was just questioning my worth, questioning everything that I'd ever done, because here I was at a time in my life that I'd never been. I'd never been that far down from being that high up, because I did do well in real estate. And so, fast forward to, you know, July of 2009, I'm in foreclosure. My personal home is in foreclosure. 7 of my real estate properties in foreclosure, and life was not too great. Buddy called me, a friend that I've known for years. He's actually my best man at my wedding just recently, and called me about an opportunity. I went over there, I checked it out, and I said, you know what the hell, man? And so I rolled up my sleeves and went to work, became the number 1 income earner in that company in 7 months. I hit $40,000 a month. I've been there ever since. That was February of 2010, and so here I was.
You went from foreclosure,
yeah,
you know, financial Armageddon.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
To 7 months later,
yeah,
$40,000 a month, and it's been there or better ever since.
Absolutely, yeah, it has.
Number 1 earner in your company.
Yeah.
Here's the question for you: what changed? You were 11 before that.
You know, a lot of people ask that, and they'll say, well, you know, is it because the comp plan's so much better, or is it because the product, or is it because, you know, the leadership or whatever? And, you know, I think a lot of those are factors, but the biggest thing is me up here. You know, I really decided to put effort into getting better, and I became on a mission. I mean, I was just on a mission, and I tell you, I built this like psychological trigger so that anytime I would think about how bad things were, because here I am prospecting for my house, I'm in foreclosure, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of, you got to kind of trick yourself to have some posture, because you need that money. Right. You know, you need money, and so I built a psychological trigger in that if I thought about how bad things were, I had to pick up the phone. And so when I'm on the phone, I couldn't think about how bad things were. And so I had read a book called Go for No, which I'm sure you're familiar with.
Great book.
And
everybody out there should get it.
Absolutely. And, you know, what I did in that, my first 6 months in that company, I had to, no matter Sunday, Saturday, Monday, didn't matter, rain, shine, whatever, I had to get 20 no's a day. And I got 20 no's every single day, didn't miss one for 6 months.
20 no's a day for 6 months.
Yeah.
How do you go from 0 to 40,000 a month?
Yeah.
20 no's a day for 6 months. If you'll commit to that for the next 6 months, wow, will your life change?
It's, you know, it's something that, and you know, I've learned, you know, social media, and I've learned, you know, other things, other ways of marketing, but I'll tell you, the big difference is I prospected. I didn't have time to wait for leads. You know, a lot of people are like, I just need leads, right? And I didn't have time. I didn't sit there and refresh my screen waiting for a lead to come in. I was hammering the phone.
Yeah.
And I would prospect everywhere. I mean, I prospected at networking meetings. I would go on Facebook, connect with people, and prospect. So I used a lot of different ways of prospecting, and it's actually pretty easy to come up with 20 no's if you put your mind to that.
It's easy to get to 20 no's. No
It is.
problem.
It is.
So how many people did, that's 180 days,
Yep.
approximately, right?
Right.
182 days, whatever.
Right.
How many people did you recruit in those 180 days, personally?
It's tough to say. I know at month 4, I believe at month 4 I was at 40. All right. So, and the reason I know that is because, people always ask me, they're like, well, how much will I make? And I say, you don't know. You don't know because you don't know when your first leader will come on board.
Right.
And so I distinctly remember the end of month 4, I brought on a guy that I met through YouTube. I saw one of his videos. I'm like, man, this guy's sharp. So I reached out to him, prospected him, brought him on board, and he was my first guy to really run with it. He ran with it, put in 295 people in 90 days, right? So he actually out-recruited me. But I know right about month 4, I was at 40. I want to say at month 7, I may have been at 70.
So about 10 a month.
Right along that.
A pace of around 10 a month.
Yeah.
So...
And that was no leads, by the way.
I understand.
That was
That's
hardcore
just
prospecting.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
And since then you've worked on some technology. We'll
Absolutely.
talk about that. But the no's that you're getting, did it count if you were working in depth in your group, or was it just personal?
That was in the beginning. It was just me.
But once you had a team.
Once I had a team, I didn't count those as no's. I said it as my. I read. Your First Year in Network Marketing by Mark Yarnell.
Yeah.
And I love what
great book. You should get your hands on it.
Yeah. I love what he said in there. He said, count on you being the only person for 12 months generating all income. And so I just kind of I'm like, all right, fine. And so I did a lot of 3 ways. I did a lot of flying around, going to different places here and there. And but that didn't count as no. So 3 ways didn't count or anything.
So people are going to ask, how did you come up with all these people to get the no's from? Because if you had 200 people on your list, that's 10 days worth.
Yeah, and that's the funny part is, people, that's always the first thing that people ask.
Right.
Where did you come up with these? You know what? If you really commit to getting outside your comfort zone, you can come up with so many people. I would go right around the corners. I have from my old house at least, I have a car wash. There's a car wash there with a board of business cards, right? I would go there, boom, 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 boom. I would call them up.
Right.
I would go to networking meetings, collect every business card in the room, follow up the next day. Those are no's. I would connect with people on Facebook. I had a certain number. I think it's more flexible now, but back then you could send a certain number of messages, and Facebook would kind of say, "Hey, stop it."
I remember that.
I used all these different tactics. I recruited people off Twitter. I recruited people off YouTube, but not by leads, but by reaching out to them and prospecting.
Connecting.
And that's
so you
the
just
difference.
found a way.
I found a way.
And how many people did you have on your list when you started? Do you think?
If I had to guess, I would say maybe 250, something like that.
You had about 250, and then you got organic after that.
Yeah, but then I would always roll back. So I remember my 5th month was my first $10,000 month. I reached back to my list, and I said, hey, you remember that thing I was telling you about a few months ago? Well, I know it's not fair for you, but I just had my first $10,000 month. I want to see if anyone has been affected by the economy and wants to make some extra money. And so a lot of them be like, what? What'd you just do?
It's fun to make that call, by the way.
Oh, absolutely. And then at 7 months, I made that call again. So some of those would count.
Sure.
I would hit. I was all about speed. So I wouldn't. There's kind of a curve with me. I spend very, very little time on the prospect that hasn't seen anything. So I would very quickly, hey, if it's a fit for you, great. If not, no big deal.
Right.
I'm that kind of guy.
Right,
I'm not the here. Let me explain how great it is, and here's the comp plan. I don't do that. So very quickly
So
go
you went
through.
about speed and numbers, speed and
Absolutely.
numbers, speed and numbers. Well, ladies and gentlemen, here's the lesson that I wanted you to get out of this. 20 no's a day for 6 months. You say, I'll pay any price. I'll pay the price. I'll do it. Whatever.
Right.
I'll do what needs to be done. And
Right.
you tell me what to do, I'll do it. I'll tell you what to do.
Yeah.
20 no's a day for 6 months.
Yeah.
20 no's a day for 6 months, then talk to me. Well, I don't know what to say to them. You'll figure it out by day 3.
Right.
Because you have done so many.
Well, and what's powerful about going for no's is I distinctly remember there was a Friday. It was a Friday. I don't know what month this was, but it was a Friday, and I was making calls, and I hear a yes, and I'm like, wow, okay, sweet. So I'm making up. I hear another yes. I'm like, well, I'm not at my 20 no's. I got 5 signups. Yeah. 5 signups that day. Now I had gone weeks without a sign up. 5 signups that day. And that's what's powerful about, the best time to go for a sale is when you've already made one. You get in that, like you said, momentum. So, absolutely.
Folks, solid stuff in this little video. This is one you're going to want to send around to everybody. Forward to your teams. Let everybody know. We're going to come back on another show and talk to Ray about a couple other things. But for this show, ladies and gentlemen, my wish for you is that you decide to become a network marketing professional. You decide to go pro, because it is a stone cold fact that we have a better way. Now let's go tell the world. 20 no's a day for 6 months. Your ticket to freedom. Everybody, see you later. Take care.
Bye-bye.